What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Clearance Camo Podcast. I'm your host, the Clearance Camo Hunter. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about some of the rituals that people have for a successful hunt or fishing trip. So stay tuned for that. But first, we're going to have a word from our sponsors. So today's sponsor is going to be Tops Knives. You can check those guys out at topsknives.com. Strongly recommend it. They have a knife for everybody and every occasion. So if you're looking for a new kitchen knife, or you're looking for a new hunting knife, you're looking for everyday carry, tactical, whatever you're looking for, they've got it. They've got you covered. They make great gifts, especially for someone you love. So, strongly recommend you check those guys out. My next sponsor is going to be Amend2 Magazines. You can check those guys out at amend2.com. They have magazines for ARs, or Glock magazines. They also have some different accessories you guys can buy, so check them out at amend2mags.com. Really recommend it. I use a lot of Amend2 mags. I also use Tops Knives, so check those guys out. If you're looking for a magazine carrying solution, something better than your mag pouch, check out XMod Gear, and you can check those guys out at xmodgear.com. They have some pretty decent stuff there. And you can use the coupon code CLEARCAM30, so CLEARCAM30, and you can get 30% off of your order. So check that out. So like I said, today's episode is going to be about different rituals people have for when they have a successful hunt or a fishing trip. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into that. So one of the most common ones that I've seen is going to be pictures. You know, everybody takes a picture of what they caught or what they killed. It's a great way to preserve the memory. But as we all know, and it's been this way since the beginning of pictures do tend to get lost. Or even if you get them printed, they get destroyed in some way, shape, or form. So be careful with the pictures, but it is a great way to do it. If you want something that's going to stick around a little bit longer, not as easily lost, you can try getting a mount, fishing mount, hunting mount, whatever you want to do. Fishing mounts, I think, look really cool, especially if you get like a really nice scenery set up with it, and you have the lure or fly or whatever that you caught that fish with. I think those look really cool, and they really do tend to preserve the mount, or preserve the moment. I think it's kind of cool too if you stick a picture of yourself with that fish with the mount. That to me looks pretty cool. And then as far as animal mounts go, I'm a big fan of European mounts, and I couldn't really tell you why. Probably because of the cost, but I think they look really cool. And it's something that you can even do with like a dead head that you found. You can get it European mounted. They make pretty cool decorations. Don't require as much work as a shoulder mount. A little bit of dusting, and you keep them hung up, and they're pretty well sturdy there. So I like mounts. I like when you get a European mount. That looks pretty cool to me. One thing I definitely want to try this year is I actually want to try European mount. Wow, that's really hard for me to say. European mounting a duck head, which I've seen done. Apparently, it's quite difficult, but I'd like to do one myself. Another thing that I've seen pretty common, and it's one of those deals where you do it right as you've made that kill or you've made that catch, is to take a drink. I've seen people hike all day long or with several days with a beer in their pack while they're hunting, and whenever they got their animal, they just whip out a beer and shotgun it. I've seen people that have gone fishing and taken shots for every fish that was landed. And so, to each their own on that one, but personally I wouldn't want to be walking around with a beer in my pack for a couple reasons. Number one, that's a lot of extra weight when you think about it, and number two, that's going to be warm. when you get to it, that's going to be warm. So if that's what you're into, sure, go for it. That's what you want if that's what you want to hike up the hill, go for it. But if you're fishing and you have a bottle of booze in your tackle box, whatever, most people aren't backpacking in to go fishing for some monster that really warrants having a shot. That's not a very common thing that I've noticed. That's one of those deals where you're on a boat and you're going down the river, so you're not hiking around with that with you. One of the celebrations that I'm not terribly fond of, but it is a necessity, is I've been a part of these meat parties. Meat parties are where you have the animals hung and you're processing them. And by the name party, it would suggest that it might be kind of fun. And depending on who you're doing it with, it can be, or it can be a giant pain in the butt. So that's something to keep in mind if you're helping somebody celebrate their kill. Maybe make sure you can walk out of there with some meat. Otherwise, you're helping them process for nothing. And if they're going to be super picky about it, it might not be worth your time. But, it is a necessity to have your animal processed. So getting a meat party together isn't a terrible idea if you're the one killing it. But make sure that the people coming have something to look forward to, whether it be you have drinks on hand, which wouldn't really suggest giving people that are drinking a knife, because then you end up with a blood that isn't the animal's in with your meat. But maybe have some drinks afterwards, or let them go home with some meat, something along those lines. That kind of goes hand in hand with another celebration. I see a lot of people that when they kill something, that night they eat something for dinner from it. Especially for deer and elk, antelope. It's pretty common for people to cut the back straps out and have those for dinner. And that is a great celebration to have. You cut those out that night and you eat those. And it's delicious. In my opinion, it's like the best part of the animal is the backstrap. And so if you can cook up some backstrap steaks and you have those for dinner, that's a wonderful way to celebrate what you have going for you. One thing that I've recently come across was commemorative calls, like turkey calls or duck calls or whatever. I've seen some people making those with the picture of their monster that they've gotten. I've seen some people make commemorative fishing poles that have their picture kind of inlaid in the rod. And so those are pretty nifty. If you know anybody, because right now, turkey season, there's a lot of people out there getting their turkeys. If you know anybody that wants a commemorative turkey call, you can check out Beaver Creek Game Calls at their website at beavercreekgamecalls.com. He actually makes turkey calls that you can put a picture on there, which is pretty nifty. Especially like, let's say it's your kid's first turkey, and you want to find a way to preserve that. That call's a great way to do that, because it's not just a picture that's going to get lost and bent up and spilled, stuff spilled on it. It's something that they can hold on to for a while, and it really shows that evidence of what they got. So check those out. There's some other ways to do it for kids. I've seen some parents, more so moms, they will make cookies with a dead deer, like in the shape of a dead deer, which, sweet, good for that. But, once you get a little bit older, that kid may grow up and be like, every time I kill an animal, I gotta have a cookie. I guess that's one way to celebrate. Growing up for me, it was the other way around. My dad and I had pout cookies. Those were the cookies you ate on days where you didn't get anything. Those were Chips Ahoy, the original Chips Ahoy, not those nasty chewy ones. They were the original Chips Ahoy. Those were our pout cookies, kind of cheer you up a little bit. We used to sit down and play cribbage and eat Chips Ahoy. So, cookies for me mean a little bit different than celebrating. There have been some other celebrations that I've been seeing recently with the turkey hunt in full swing, posting it on social media so everybody can take a look at it and ooh and ah at it. But one thing I've noticed with that is there's always those people that they're just gonna dog on you and tell you that you're just not good at what you do or whatever it is. And, that's the wrong way to look at it. If you see somebody posting something that they've killed on social media, as long as it was a legal take, be happy for them. There's no reason to dog on them. They're happy. They're excited for it. Just let them have that victory. You don't need to tear them down. And if you feel like there's something wrong, instead of doing it publicly, maybe reach out to that person and privately and address them and do it in a nice manner. But I mean, in reality, it's best just to leave it and let them have their fun with it. A few other things that I've seen. There's been some guys that I knew that went out turkey hunting recently, and they all got their turkeys within the first 2 days of their week-long hunt, and so they decided to take the rest of that week, and they just took it goofing off. There was no real reason to keep hunting because they didn't have any tags, so they just took that week off, or the rest of the week, and just basically had a little bit of a vacation. And I know that's not always the case, because let's say you get an elk and you took a week off to go elk hunting, and you got an opening day, you'll probably spend a couple of days at that meat party getting it processed. So, but take the time that you have and do something else fun with it. You took it off to enjoy the time. Enjoy the time. Now, back on the subject of meat parties, or having it for dinner, there's a lot of people out there that'll take a bite out of the meat when they're gutting it. Either it'd be the liver or the heart, or they're just licking the heart. Some people do take that bite, and that's a really old tradition to celebrate, is taking that bite. And if that's what you're into, go for it. Personally, I don't really want to eat that raw liver, but that's my thing. I don't want to eat it, but if you want to eat it, I'm not going to judge you. Some people will do what's called blooding, and blooding is where you take the blood from that animal and smear it on the person who killed it. And that's generally done with a hunting partner, or the most experienced hunter will take the blood and put it on the killer. That I shouldn't say killer, the person that harvested the animal. They can either do it real gentle with a little bit of line on the cheeks or the forehead. Some people will dip their whole hand in blood and just smear it all over that person. That is a ritual that I can understand why it's there, and I can see why that's a big deal. There's a ritual that I recently heard about, was called the last bite. It's a very common practice in like Germany and Austria. Some Americans do it, but basically what they do is they grab a twig that's on the in the surrounding area from the animal, and they place it in its mouth and kind of help chew it, and then they leave it in the mouth. It's kind of like giving it its last meal. But it's like an appreciation for you letting you harvest that animal. And so, if that's something you want to kind of do to show your appreciation, great. Another one would be to just, as you walk up to the animal, slitting its throat. That's a little bit more barbaric, especially if the animal's already dead. That does kind of hurt your chances of a shoulder mount if you're into shoulder mounts, but some people do it, and kudos to them. These are all different ways to celebrate. However you want to celebrate your momentous occasion. You can do whatever it is as long as it's legal. I'm happy for you. One thing that I've only heard stories of is horn blowing, which I guess in today's world we have a little bit of a different method for this, but horn blowing is exactly what it sounds like. You get an animal down and you blow your horn, whether it be, an actual like bull's horn, or if it's going to be a brass horn, however horn you want to do. That's that's one thing I've not really been familiar with, but I guess in today's world we do something similar to alert everybody that we got something down with the use of two-way radios and cell phones. It's pretty common for someone to hop on and just say, I got an animal down, and be super excited about it. So I guess in a way it is a very similar sense of the celebration, and it's a very similar way of communicating. So kudos to them. When I got my first buck, the way that was celebrated is one of the people I was with actually got on her knees and prayed and to say thank you to God. And so that's a great way to celebrate too. If you want to say thank you to whatever being you believe in, that's amazing, and it's a great way to show thanks. But she also decided that she wanted to pet the deer and say thank you, and she cried. That one I felt really uncomfortable with because she didn't kill it, I did, and so I don't understand why she was crying. But I guess whatever, let her do her own thing. But if you guys have any sort of celebrations you guys want to let me know about, I'll be happy to hear them. You can shoot me an email at clearancecamo@gmail.com. If you guys have any pictures or anything that you wanted to share with your stories, you can attach those to that, or you can tag me on Instagram. My Instagram name is clearancecamo_DOT_COM. So you guys can shoot me or tag me into those videos or pictures, however you guys want to do it. I love to hear these stories of successful hunts and successful fishing trips. So go ahead and shoot me your stories, and I'd be happy to hear them. I appreciate you guys for listening today, and I really look forward to our next episode. As always, aim slow and shoot fast.